Alright, so I want to talk about composition, and so kind of the intro and outros of this video and how I made those, and the program I use. So I want to go to, let's see if the bottom will show up here. I want to go to HitFilm for Express is the program. I just hit enter there because it was at the top of the search, and the computer's going to pull up this program, but it's a free compositing software like After Effects, and it's how I made these two. And the old ones were made in the same program, and I did it in a 3D version. And this one is the ones I have now are in a 2D version using some more thought before I did them. So I'm going to click this intro one here. I just have my intro and my outro. So I'll click the intro first and open it up in HitFilm. I think it's opening up at least. We will see. And so a lot of this is based on keyframing in the compositor, and then when to hide things, blocking things, and smartly putting together the keyframes to get the transitions all put together and work correctly. So I start with, on the top I have a black hiding plane. Or where is that? Let's see, on the top I have a blackout pane, and that's just to get this transition. So right there, the transition from black to white here, that is done. I have this blackout layer, hit add layer, and click. And so that's behind this blackout pane. And under transform, just the opacity right here, these two keyframes and these two keyframes here are switching it from an opacity of 100% and then to 0%. And then, so how I put this together is I have this square fly out, and then I have the letters come across. So we have the letter pieces, and then I'll get into all the rectangles. It's all made out of rectangles, and then it disappears. And so I kind of saw an error there. What was this? Yeah, so this, actually, right here. So we have this plane. So it's a blue hiding plane, this plane. So what I'm going to do is, instead of changing things, I'm just going to come over here and pull like that. So that means it doesn't even exist. So here it exists as a thing for, and it's used for to cover the letters as this white thing goes across. And then once it gets to, so once it's there, I don't even need it, and so it'll disappear. Because it's the same color of the dark blue, you don't even notice it. And then when a daily shifts down, it's covered by another blue, this blue hiding plane here. And so that's how a lot of this trickery is done. So this square plane that comes out, is it this white cover? No. I don't have things named very well. White back, nope. So this plane right here. So it starts out really tiny, and then it just grows, and that's a scale keyframe, and then a positioning keyframe to get it to do that. And then the and daily's hidden off to the right as a text, and I use it to shoot out. And so now that I'm going into all this detail, I'm just going to explain the thought process behind putting something like this together. And so really thinking of it in terms of, rectangles and shapes, and how I'm just going to keyframe of, I want it to start here, and then I want it to end here. So how do I do that? Okay, well, the letters need to move from left to right, and then you set up that keyframe, and then you set up how it's going to be blocked out. And then the growing bars here are just an opacity change, a position change, and a scale change all at the same time. And then same with this square here. This is just a position change with a scale change as the position changes from left to right. And that's all it is, along with a sliding blue thing to keep up with revealing the words. And that's the entirety of the first one. And so then I'm going to go back to the thank you one, the outro. We do want to save the changes. And it's opening up the outro. So if we go to edit, it should be there. And so here's the thanks for watching. Using the same idea, once again the fade to black, a bar shows up, the thanks slides out, thanks slides down, there's a cover thing there, and then to get this slide, that plane that covers it is there the whole time, and then when the bar moves, that plane moves, revealing these letters, and then when it covers, it just goes in reverse, and as you can see, the plane's actually ahead of it, and then we fade to black and it's over. And so that's how it's kind of put together. So let's see, what did I do? So that's kind of what it looks like. And I can take away different planes to show that. If I take away this blue cover, the text is still there. If I take away that blue cover, when we go here, see that's where the letters go. They're just behind this blue cover. And then the white cover is that thing, this second blue cover. That covers the thanks when the thanks comes on screen. The thanks is actually which one is it? There. And so the thanks is off screen, the blue pops up, and then the thanks. Oh snap. Ah, there it is. I turned the text off, but the thanks is just right there, and then it shoots out, and then it shoots down, but it's covered, and then this plane covers. Boom. And that's it. And so that's kind of how I put the compositions together as far as covering, changing opacity, scale, and all that using keyframes in HitFilm for Express.